Well, hello, I am here at 3714 Texas. So for those of you who've been watching the updates regularly, since this was a empty brick shell, this is it. This is the final reveal of the finished product, and I'm starting off here in the kitchen because I know the last couple updates that I did, I teased you and did not show you the kitchen because I wanted to wait for it to all be completely together, and it just turned out amazing. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a walkthrough through the entire house, which is Essential STL's latest project, and I think most spectacular and most dramatic transformation so far. Certainly the most challenging and extensive project that we've ever done. So I'm coming in here right from the side door, which is the main entrance. You see the kitchen. There will be a refrigerator that'll be in shortly in that hole there. But you can see the stainless steel appliances and the big, beautiful island with the sink in it. It just makes so much sense. You know, we've hosted, we use this layout frequently in our projects, and frequently we'll host like a happy hour or an open house, and you really get a feel for how much sense this layout makes when you've got the sink right here and the stove and the refrigerator. It just works really, really well. So we move then into this area, which is currently staged sort of as a dining area. We have a really small table in here, and as you can see, there's plenty of room for a much larger table. You know, I think this is, we really designed this to function really well in a modern living sort of a situation. So what you'll see we've got here is just a large space. The kitchen is now way the heck down there. And there's a minimal amount of furniture here in the staging. And, you know, we do that because we want folks to be able to kind of imagine your own stuff in here. And you can see there's just so much space for, you could do a large sectional in here easily. There's a couple of different options for where the TV could go, right? We don't have a TV in here currently, but this wall would be a great place for a TV. This wall would be a great place for a TV. You could even put it on a piece of furniture over on this side, but lots of flexibility in how you lay this space out, and just tons and tons of space. It's not at all a small space. And that was one thing that I really insisted on, was that we really keep the large volume of space and allow this to be configured in multiple different ways. You know, one of the things that I think is entirely possible is if someone with a family moved in here, you know, they might put a sofa and a TV in this dining area, right? Because it may make more sense to have an area for kids to play and kids to be watching TV and whatnot, or playing games while a meal is being prepared. So I was about to go upstairs, but before we do that, I forgot there's more down here to take a look at. So what you got here is just a really great little area, and this would be a great place to put some built-ins, which we didn't do because we want whoever buys this place to be able to choose all of that. But this is a great place to put your coat, put your purse, gloves, hats, and whatnot. A ton of different things that you could do with that. So we come in here, and then we have one of the tiniest little bathrooms that you've ever seen. Here, just a place for guests to use the restroom and wash their hands on the first floor. So the next thing we have is the first bedroom that we're coming to. And by the way, you can see through the window there, you can sort of see the parking garage, or the carport that we have out there. And you can see that we've sown grass seed. It's beginning to come up. It's been a little rainy, which is exactly what we need for that seed to sprout. So you're going to have a really beautiful lawn in the spring here. I guess it is spring. It just doesn't feel like spring yet. But anyway, we designed this room to be really multi-purpose. So we have this currently set up in a way that I think would make a ton of sense here in 2022. You've got a desk over there, and that's a place where you can obviously do work. If you work from home, you could have this. And by the way, you probably can't see, but there's a door on here. and you can pull that shut and certainly have privacy in here. And there's also a pull-out futon sort of a thing there, so you've got the ability to pull that out. And well, I don't know if that's actually a pull-out futon, but anyway, that's staging. You don't get that with the house anyway. But the idea is we wanted to show that this room can be very multi-purpose, and it can certainly be something that could be used in a number of different ways. So we're going to move through here to what is my favorite part of the house. So if you live in a house like this, you got to go up and down the steps a couple of times a day, probably several times a day. And if you're going to be doing that, you might as well do it in style. So we created, you're going to see more of it in a second here, but we created just an amazing staircase with this beautiful and very expensive cable railing. This is all custom. I think it's just fantastic. But before we go up there, you know, the strange configuration of this gave us some kind of weird space down here. And you know, this is not, so this right here, just this comes up about to my chest, just to give you an idea. And we figured let's figure out a really neat way to use this space. And you can see there's an opportunity to have a little reading nook for kids under there. But my favorite is this is just the perfect place to put dog bowls and maybe a dog bed and maybe a dog crate. But a really neat little space that you can use in lots of different ways. So let's move up here into this spectacular space here that is, again, my favorite part of the entire house. I insisted on leaving the beautiful patina on this brick, and I think it is absolutely stunning, and I completely understand there will be people who will not think that it's beautiful at all. People think it's horrible, and those are not the people who are going to buy this house, and that is okay. If you love this, you're going to love it. If you don't love it, you're not going to love it, and that's all there is to it. So we have lots and lots of light pouring into this, what the architect calls stair tower, and very high ceilings and a beautiful chandelier up there. And you see windows up there letting lots of light. And by the way, the windows in here are not placed randomly. The windows in here are placed strategically, and they are where they are for a reason. So we are moving up to the top. I'm going to give you another view down here. So amazing. I just love this space. You know, this is an old exterior window, and I thought, what a great place to put art. I think this could be just a really great place to put a large, really cool piece of art. Now we're going to go right into the owner's suite. And let's see, let's just go straight back into the bedroom area. So this is right above the living area that we just toured on the first floor, and it's the same footprint basically. And what you see is that, turn some lights on, it's a very large space, and you have got tons of options. Now, of course, when the architect designed this space, she thought through, where do things go? How do we lay this space out? And this is how she designed it, is for the bed to go on this wall. You certainly have other options and other ways to configure this room. It's very large, and it's very flexible in how it is laid out. And then we move over here to the closet area, and this is just a massive closet. Tons and tons of space in there. And so this area that we're in now is a bit of a vestibule for as you come into the master bedroom. And again, the architect thought it through, and she thought, well, this is the perfect place for a mirror, right? Because you got your clothes, you can see how you look before you head out into the world. But of course, inside the private owner's suite area is this amazing master bathroom, and I just love it. Mirrors are still coming. Mirrors are going to be installed on all these vanities. But you've got a private room for the toilet, which is personally something that I think is just not done often enough in houses. But this amazing marble tile, we've used this on a couple other projects, and we get great feedback about it. And then this massive shower that you could fit as many people, well, you could fit a couple people in there anyway. Or you could just take a shower by yourself, totally up to you. And then we'll move down the hallway, and we have this hall closet, which is nothing exciting at all. That's just where the second floor HVAC is. And I should probably point out, there's also space for a vacuum cleaner as we have here, because as we show the house, people try dirt in here, so we got to keep it clean. But there is separate HVAC for the upstairs and the downstairs, which some people call zoned HVAC. So one of the really nice things about that is you can control your upstairs heat separately and air conditioning separately from your downstairs. So when you're sleeping, you don't necessarily need the downstairs to be as hot or as cold as the upstairs. So gives you a lot of flexibility and gives you the ability to potentially save on your heating and cooling bills, because you just have more control and flexibility in how you use it. So here we have nothing fancy. This is just a normal subway tile, and this is the shower and tub combo. Every house has to have a tub, because generally speaking, if folks have small kids, they have a need for a tub. And then of course we have the essentials in here, and this is what we call in real estate a hall bath, because it's accessible from the hall. It's not private to any bedroom. And we did go ahead and put double vanities in here because we thought that would just add some additional flexibility. Perhaps if you have a couple of kids. We also see people living in very different situations, maybe having in-laws living in here, or elderly parents or something like that. So again, we tried to design this space to be as flexible as we possibly could and accommodate as many different possible configurations as we could. And of course, nobody wants to walk down to the basement for laundry. That is just ridiculous. So of course we got to give you laundry up here. I just love second floor laundry myself, because you dress and you undress and you store your clothes up here. You might as well go ahead and wash them here, and then that way the only clothes that you have to take down the steps are the ones that you're wearing. So that makes a ton of sense, I think, anyway. And if you didn't want to put a washer and dryer, I suppose you could just use that for storage. All right, and then this is the third and final bedroom in this house, and we are all the way in the back. We'll take a peek out, and there's the carport. And there's nothing fancy about this room, except it does have a very large closet. The closets in this house are really good size, so you can get a ton of stuff in there. And I think that will conclude this tour. I do want to point out also, as it's not obvious, a couple of things that we've done here for energy efficiency. And one of those is a white reflective TPO roof. And what that means is that in the summer, rather than the sun beating down on your dark colored roof and making it really hot, the light reflects, or the sunlight reflects off of it and keeps it from heating up, and that reduces your air conditioning bills in the summer for sure. And the other thing that's going on here is that we have blown-in insulation in all these exterior walls. So everywhere that you see an exterior wall, it has what is called open cell blown-in insulation, and it is a very energy efficient product, and it works really, really well to ensure that it is as tight as possible. This house is, for a rehab, is probably about as tight as it gets. It's actually really amazing how quiet it is, because you just don't hear any outside noise. You may be able to tell that in the video, or you may not. And then I'll also point out that where you do see exposed brick here, these are interior areas. We didn't expose any exterior brick because we can't meet modern energy code and have exposed brick. So we are working to do our part for the environment and make the building just as tight as we possibly can, and also at the same time make it as beautiful and fantastic as we can. So I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 314-451-2440. Again, 451-2440. And then you can also reach me at jeff@essentialstl.com. Again, that's jeff@ essentialstl.com. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I'd love to show it to you in person.